Hey, it's your boy. That's me, by the way. And I'm gonna start off with a brief introduction to my job. What my job's like, what exactly I do. So, imagine you lived in a monarch ruled kingdom. And then one day, the king came up to you and said, "Hey, wanna be king for a day?" And you said, "Sure. Okay, I'll do it." The king was like, "Great. Now I'm gonna be leaving. So it's all in your hands. It's up to you to keep this place running." And you're like, "Awesome." And then you realize that the kingdom's nothing but a big, huge, empty castle. There's no one in it at all, except you and the king who has now left. So it's just you and the occasional random trader that passes through, stops for like a minute, and then is on his way. That's pretty much my job. I am the night crew, well, more like the night guy, because there's literally nobody else but me. We're a grocery store, open till 1 a.m. I usually work 5 to 1, 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. Store manager leaves around 10:30, 11. Last cashier leaves at 11. Last bagger leaves at 11. That's just me. I am the entire store. There's no one in there but me. Till the night stalkers arrive around 12, 12:30. Which is like not that long until we close at 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. Now, night stalkers coming in every night around 12:30 might sound terrifying if you forget that it's stalker spelled with an O, not with an A. Night stalkers coming in every night would be terrifying. That'd be some creepypasta level shit. But pretty much my job, I stand around and do nothing. There's nothing to do. Nobody on the planet does their grocery shopping that late at night. Like, after 10:30 or so, 10:30. I mean, after 10, it's just dead. And after 10:30, it's you get probably around between the hours of 10:30 and 1, you probably get around total of 5 people. It's so boring. I just stand there and play on my phone. There's literally nothing to do. Done everything I had to do for the night. Everything's all ready to close, so at 12:30, or not 12:30, so at 1 o'clock, I can shut the doors. Well, after I turn off all the machines. Which takes like 5 minutes. That's all there is to it. Here. And what else? Let's see. So, I'm drinking a Sobe. This is the second interaction in my whole life I've had with this beverage. First interaction was like in middle school. Some kid asked the teacher if we were allowed to drink Sobeys in class. Now, I never knew what a Sobe was. I thought it was just some type of soda. So, the reason the kid was asking is because we were allowed to drink water. We weren't allowed to drink soda because it was caffeinated and carbonated. Or no, it was caffeinated and had a bunch of sugar in it. We were allowed to drink juice, which people perceive as healthy, even though it's practically liquid sugar, like fruit juice. Like it's practically liquid sugar. But we were also allowed to drink coffee, even though that's caffeinated. I presume we were also allowed to drink tea, but that never really came up. But we weren't allowed to drink sodas. The two reasons being were they had too much sugar, and they were caffeinated. Well, no one contested it because everything the administration says goes, even if it's stupid and makes no sense, and they don't have a logical reason for it. Everything they say goes. So no one's questioning it. It's because we're asking if we could drink Sobeys. Now, in my life, this is like in middle school, I don't even remember, probably like 6th grade, 7th grade, I never in my life had heard of a Sobey. The only place I ever seen them was at Panda Express. They sell them at Panda Express, which is like just like Asian fast food. It's actually not that bad. Pretty good most of the time. But I just seen them there. I never knew what they were. I just assumed they were some weird exotic drink. I don't even remember what the teacher said. I just remember the kid talking about Sobeys, and I was so weirded out because I never in my life had heard of a Sobey. I thought it was some kind of soda. I saw them at Panda Express. So I assumed there was some kind of imported foreign soda. Saw them on the shelves at work. Picked one up, drank it. It was actually pretty good. They were at my closeout sale. They were $1. The only problem was the one I drank at work was strawberry banana flavored. And then the one I picked up to drink at home was pina colada flavor. And let me tell you, strawberry banana was a hell of a lot better than this pina colada one is. It's not the best. Strawberry was so good, though. Any other news? Oh, yeah, the RV that was in our parking lot finally disappeared. It was there for like months. It was there, it's been there, God, for months. Probably since like May or June. Probably since like early June it showed up. It just sits in our parking lot. And it's just there. Like it just sits on the edge of the parking lot. Nobody knows whose it is or why it's there. I was actually talking with the store manager about it yesterday. One of the store managers, Heather. She was like, I don't know what it's for. I assume it's for the people that are building the Sonic that's gonna be going up in the parking lot soon. It's a huge parking lot, huge store. That's why I describe it as a big empty castle, because the store is absolutely massive. The store has literally 59 aisles. 59 aisles. It's a grocery store with 59 aisles. The store is beyond comprehensively massive. It is unreal. There's already a Raising Cane's in the parking lot. Now they're building a Sonic. We assumed it was for the workers building the Sonic. Well, that's what she said. She said, the winning theory between the management team is that it's for the workers for Sonic. This RV is such a huge enigma. No one has, I have never seen anyone go in or out of it, and neither have any of the store managers, because apparently it's come up in like their meetings before, like the meetings between the store management team. Apparently it's that RV has come up in their meetings. No one has ever seen anyone go in or out of that RV. I've walked past that RV going to my car. The windows are like shuttered up, so no light would go in or out, so you can't see inside. And so she says the winning theory is that it's for the workers building the Sonic. But once they complete the Sonic, and if it's still there, they're gonna call the police on it. You're like, what the hell? Like, you're not really allowed to just park your RV there, you know? She said she didn't want to go up to it and like knock on the door and get pulled in. I'm like, no, I didn't say this out loud, but why do you think these thoughts? Like, I usually parked like kind of close to that RV because I park on the edge of the lot because I hate driving in parking lots. I'd rather walk across the whole lot than drive across it. So I would always park near that RV. Ever since she said that, I parked like closer to the store, like away from that thing, just to avoid having to walk past it, because I don't want to get like jumped out of the RV, like goons coming out of it. Like, I don't want to have to run for my life at 1 in the morning through the parking lot of a grocery store after I just did a hard day's work making $40 or whatever. You know, I'd really hate to get like mugged on the way to the grocery store, like having to fight for my life to stand around in a grocery store for 8 hours and make $40. Like, that just doesn't seem like an even trade to me. Hmm. Man, that would suck. One of the huge perks of this store is it's actually in a really nice area, which is actually why I like working here. More than I liked working in the other store. They transferred me here when this one opened. I actually kind of like it more, just because it's in a better area. You don't have to deal with, like, as much people trying to steal, as much shady people. Like, obviously, like, theft and stuff is still a problem, but it's nowhere near as big of a problem. You don't have to watch out for it as much. What else is interesting? Trying to think of other interesting things to talk about, because I feel like this is too short of a video. I mean, I'm still not even done. I'm like halfway through my dinner. I'm having raviolis. They're pretty good. Oh yeah, we had a hurricane. Hurricane Harvey. There's a lot of funny things to say about that. Not really funny, but like, for this area, like, this area was very lightly hit by a storm relative to the rest of Houston. Like, Houston's like 4 feet underwater still. Like, there are parts of Houston I still need a boat to get through. And most people here didn't get more than like, most people here didn't get any water in their homes. A few got a few inches, but that was it. Some people had like the standard hurricane shit, like shit falling on their car, roofs caving in and shit. Like, but we got off a lot better than most of Houston did, which is good. Now, of course, there's still people that are like, so there were these dams that were some absurd amount of water over capacity. Like, they were so far past the point of the amount of water they could safely hold, and it just wasn't going to stop raining. So the officials were like, well, we have to open the dams to release some of the water, so the dam doesn't, fucking explode and flatten everything for miles. And what happens? They release a little bit of the water, backs up because the drainage systems are already full, because the dams are full to the point of bursting. Backs up, puts an inch of water in the homes of this suburb, which is pretty much defined by the fact people who live there are too dumb to realize they could drive literally 5 minutes and pay about a third of what they pay for their houses for houses that are pretty much the exact same. Pretty much everyone's favorite kind of people. The stereotypical suburbanites. That's these people. And they're all up in arms like, oh my god, they opened the dams and flooded our houses. Like, wow, the government, horrible. Like, that was actually the correct decision. Because if those dams had bursted, you would have gotten a few inches of water in the lower levels of your house. You would have gotten a few feet of water. Your house wouldn't be there, and neither would you, because you didn't evacuate, because there wasn't an evacuation order issued for this area. By the time there was it was a voluntary evacuation order issued for this area. The roads were impassable. This area is built very smartly. It's built to contain a flood. Very well. There's a lot of drainage ditches and dams, and the roads are real much lower than the houses. So even though the houses are perfectly fine, the roads are absolutely impassable. You'd need a boat to move along them. They issued a voluntary evacuation order when the roads were like 2 feet underwater. So, and my mom and I took the dogs for a walk one day. It was after the worst of the storm had passed. It was still raining. Put on raincoats, walked the dogs around the neighborhood. Sidewalks were sort of passable. You kind of had to walk in people's yards sometimes, but if you had like rain boots, it didn't matter. We walked along. There's this big, like, retention pond dam area behind our neighborhood that we normally will walk the dogs on because it's got all these concrete barricades up, and we'll just walk the dogs along top of them. We'll just go into like these backwoods areas where it's actually kind of nice. Those concrete barricades that keep water in those retention ponds were completely underwater. The whole pond was full. It had overflowed its banks. Part of the, if we crossed, I mean, we couldn't even cross the street to get to the normal walking path. It was so deep underwater. It was unreal. Like, man, I've never seen it like that before. Insane. I rode out hurricanes all my life. I rode out Katrina and Rita. I was a little young. I don't really remember too much detail. I remember Ike. Ike was pretty nasty. Ike tore up our fence real bad. We lived in a different house then, but Ike ripped up our fence. We lost a lot of shingles on our roof. We lost a window in the upstairs of the house in the room. Fortunately, we lost the window. Like, we were able to prevent too much water from getting in because we just started laying down tarps and stuff. We had to take shelter in our closets because, like, after that, we just took shelter in our closets because we're not having, like, windows break and people die and stuff, you know? It's really deadly. Like, glass in a storm is deadly. We lost power for, I think, 4 or 5 days. That's what I remember. I was so hot. We were all sweating. Nothing's been even close to what Harvey did. The devastation of this storm is nothing I've ever seen. And now, storms past, all the little shits who like to make everything a political issue coming out from under their rocks and being like, actually, this is the way the state should have handled this. My way is far better. Like, no. Like, oh, the governor should resign. A mayor should resign. A president should resign. People's homes got destroyed in a hurricane. That's clearly the politicians' fault. They should have been able to prevent the hurricane from coming in, you know? Those Illuminati weather rays, they should have just thrown up the weather barriers and kept the hurricane out. They didn't do that, so obviously they should resign. I hate these kinds of people. Worst kinds of people. They're all so stupid. Like, it's just dumb. Like, everyone's concerned with, like, so here's Houston, still waterlogged. Many roads are still blocked. My area, because it wasn't flooded, is actually during the day. I actually don't have to deal with the traffic jam because I pretty much am going the opposite way everyone else is going when I leave for work at 5 p.m. Then I come home at 1 a.m. Literally no one's on the road. So I actually don't have to deal with the traffic, but it is a log jam in this area because all the roads around are completely flooded. All the major roads that take everyone like to where they need to go are either still flooded or impassable. And they just now reopened one of the big ones, which is nice, but oh my god. Just unfreaking real. But everyone's just trying to help each other out. Like, I remember the hurricane week. Like, the first day The roads were clear enough to get the store open. The store reopened its doors. And there I am pulling 10, 12-hour shifts, like 3, 4 days. I don't even remember. It was just unreal. I would wake up. The store was operating under an extremely restricted hour schedule. The store was literally operating on a 9 to 5 hour schedule. A 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. store was operating on a 9 to 5 schedule. Store was only open 8 hours a day. They were only letting certain people in, or a few people in at a time, because if they just let everyone come in when they wanted, it would have been a literal riot inside. It would have been like Black Friday in a Walmart in a low income area. It would have just been insane. Like, people probably would have died. Like, no joke. Because everyone's trying to get food and water and stuff. So there I am scanning people's groceries for like 10 hours a day. I mean, we didn't even get breaks. There weren't enough people to get breaks. Like, we would get like we would go and like sit in a chair for like 5, 10 minutes and drink water. And then, I mean, that's just what we had to do, you know? It's like, oh man. But everyone's just, I'm trying to just scan people's stuff as fast as I possibly can and get them out of there. Because that's like what I'm supposed to do. That's all I can do. And it's just crazy. Like, looking at the store after the hurricane, unreal. Shelves were just empty, completely empty, other than just like random singular items that were on there. Usually just parts of like a lot of bulk stuff that had lost one unit. Just stuff sitting around. It was insane. There's this like old. This was not that long ago. This was like after we'd gotten most of our stock is back. We're probably up to like 95% stock right now, up from like 0%. You know what? We never sold out of like all the like the vegan food, like veggie burgers and stuff like that, and tofu. We had plenty of that stuff because that shit's nasty and nobody would want to eat that. People would rather starve than eat that. Like, ugh. I'd rather starve than eat that. Disgusting, dude. Like, so nasty. I can last 3 weeks. Like, the human body can last like 2 or 3 weeks without food. Like, I'd rather wait 2 or 3 weeks for food than eat like that shit. Like, ugh. So disgusting, dude. Like, makes you want to throw up when. Ugh, so gross. Vegan food is so disgusting. Ugh. The lengths you have to go to torture your body for political reasons is just crazy. But there was this like old grandma lady accent. She said she was from like some Eastern European country. I can't even remember where. And she was like, she moved here when she was real young. She has lived in the US for like 40, 50 years. She says she's never seen empty shelves in a grocery store in the US before. And seeing them here, like, really freaked her out. I mean, it's like, yeah, I've never seen anything like this. It was insane. I mean, the first things we sold out of were milk, eggs, bread, water, propane, the essentials. Then we started running out of other stuff too. We ran out of like juice, chips. Oh yeah, meat. We ran out of meat pretty fast. We ran out of produce pretty quickly. Uh, we ran out of batteries, matches, candles. Um, our fuel center ran out of gas. Um, what else? I mean, we ran out of literally everything. Like, we ran out of everything in the entire store. It's crazy. Crazy stuff, dude. So I don't know. I've got some off days coming up Thursday and Friday. It's been mostly back to normal. Stores on normal hours. I'm working normal schedule again. There's off days Thursday, Friday, and I need to go drive up to Sealy to buy some welding equipment because the supply store down here got flooded out. The next closest one's in Sealy. I'm taking a welding class. It starts in like 2 weeks. It's just a little community thing, not really like an actual class, but hopefully it'll just be like an introduction enough to see what it likes, or to see what it's like, cause I want to do something like tradesman. Like, it sounds pretty cool to be honest, and well, I don't even know what I want to do. I just don't want to work here for the rest of my life. Like, this shit sucks. Like, I get paid like $8 an hour. It's terrible. And the pay here is so bad. Like, I could literally work for Walmart and freaking almost double my income. Like, there's this guy who used to work at my store. Like, this guy is like literally the laziest bum ever. I make $8.50 an hour before like taxes and stuff. This guy, and I have no hours guarantee. Like, now I'm actually getting good hours, but it used to be I was so strained for hours. Like, I'd get none. I'd get like 16 to 20, like 2 hours a week, which is just retarded. Now I usually get upwards of 30. I usually get around 34 to 36, or 32 to 36 hours a week, which is pretty good. But I make $8.50 an hour. So this guy gets hired for Walmart. Starting rate $13.55 an hour, guaranteed 35 hours a week. Like, what the hell, man? I could have doubled my freaking income by working for Walmart. The only problem is the nearest Walmart's kind of like in the ghetto. I don't really want to work at a store in the ghetto. Like, my old store wasn't in the ghetto. It was in, like, there were other stores in this area that are in way worse places than that one. That was actually probably the best of the worst. But man, like, working there was just stressful, especially at night. Man, it was so creepy. It's just places you don't want to go at night. Like, it's like that in like anywhere. There's just places you don't want to be out alone, or you don't want to be out, like, especially out alone late at night. That's one of them. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'll do, but hopefully I don't have to do this for the rest of my life. I'm gonna miss like parts of it, but there's a lot of it I'm not gonna miss. Like, I think most of what I'm actually gonna miss are the people that I've actually semi-connected with. Like, the regular people who come in a lot. See, I work at self-checkout. Usually. Sometimes I work in the customer service booth, but usually I do self-checkout. So the thing about self-checkout is you'll get a lot of people who very regularly come through self-checkout, which is much different than being a cashier on a lane. Because even if the same people go through lanes all the time, they don't always go through the same lane. They don't always go through your lane. You know, but the same people go through self-checkout. There's only one self-checkout. There's 6 machines, but there's only one self-checkout. So people go through that. So you get the same people all the time, and I've actually like really quite connected with a lot of regular people. Like, they just come in a lot. I don't know. I think that's mostly what I'd miss is the regular people, like the regulars, people that come in all the time. You know. I think that's what I'd miss the most, and the customers that are like they're not regulars, but they're like real chill, they're real friendly, they're real cool. They love to make like conversation, small talk with you. When you tell them your corny jokes, they get a kick out of them. They're real cool, friendly. I'm gonna miss stuff like that. Hopefully, I can encounter more of that in another profession once I get into that. But I think I am really gonna miss that kind of interaction and stuff. But what I'm not gonna miss, and I'm probably gonna have to deal with this like throughout my whole life as I work, the people who are just rude for no reason. I was talking to one of my friends about this last night. The people that are rude, like, and he was like, I don't understand that. Like, why would you ever be rude to someone who works at a grocery store? I'm like, maybe you should ask that to some of these people, because you get some like rude ass people. Like, I mean, do you just have like a stick like permanently lodged up your vagina? Like, please. So you get some of the rudest people. Like, the word debit is literally printed on the woman's card. I still remember this stupid woman. The word debit is literally printed on her card. It says Visa debit in huge letters, like on the front of the card. Can I do it as her card's declining because insufficient funds? You know what? She's literally the funny part of this story. Probably the only reason I still remember it. It's because it's like midnight. She's buying tampons and it's declining her card because insufficient funds to buy like $9 worth of tampons on her debit card. She's like, "Can you do it as credit?" I can try, and I run it through as a credit card. And obviously it doesn't work. It declines the whole transaction because it's not a credit card, it's a debit card. Wasn't there someone who can ring it up? No, I'm the only one that's still. Well, they tell me, ma'am, that's a debit card. It says debit on the card. Like, you get like stupidest people, and she's like, man, 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 man. Of course, she's throwing like a temper tantrum because she's a 40-year-old baby. Like, call your bank and complain to your bank. What do you want me to do? Your card is a debit card. Like, do you really not have $9 in cash on you? I make like $300 a week, and I have $9 cash in my wallet right now. Because I know I have a $10 bill in there. I could have made that purchase, and I make $300 a week. And I mean, I don't know. Some people just don't understand how like cards work. There was this old woman. She was at least understanding about it. She wanted to get cash back. Her card wouldn't allow her to get cash back. Even if I tried to cash out her credit card, or I don't even know what kind of card it was. It didn't like say on it. Even if I tried to cash out her card, it wouldn't let me. It said decline transaction. I'm like, okay. Because I was going to show her how to get cash back from the pin pad, and it just said approved. I'm like, maybe your card doesn't allow you to get cash back. I can try cashing it out, but it's not like anything shady. It's literally just like the way you would cash a check or a Coinstar, anything like that. You just turn it to cash. It wouldn't let me do that. I'm like, it's your card, so I mean, maybe try an ATM or call your bank or something because it's not letting me. So she was at least nice and understanding about it. I don't know a whole lot of the way credit cards work. I know certain credit cards work certain ways in our system. There's no way around pins. Certain cards you can bypass pins, certain cards you can't. It's part of the card and it's also part of our system. I don't know the specifics of it. All I know is it works sometimes. Like the phone pay. The phone pay is the worst where they hold their phone up to the pin pad. Why doesn't it work? I have literally no idea. I have no clue how that even works. Like I don't know how the phone even does that. How does the phone like reach into the pin pad? Aren't those pin pads supposed to be super secure? How can someone pull their phone out of their pocket and the phone can just immediately just start communicating with the pin pad? Like that's freaky, dude. One of the reasons I don't like using cards. They're not secure at all. So easy to like steal. There's like infinite freaking money loaded onto them. Like cash, so much more secure. Yeah, there's so many other like horrible people I've gotten. I'm trying to remember. It's not that many to be honest. They leave an impression on you, but you forget about them real quick. You remember the friendly people, you know, you do remember the friendly people. Like every time I see a person and I think they look familiar, I'm like, that must have been a nice guy. Cause I don't, cause if I don't talk to them for more than like the hey, how you doing, I'm not really gonna remember their face. I do that to like dozens of people a day. I'm not gonna remember. But it's the people I stand there for a while and talk to. They're the people I'm gonna remember. The face is gonna be in my memory for longer, so I'm gonna see it, you know. And when I see him again, they're like, hey, that guy must have been a nice guy. I go talk to him. They're usually always real friendly and eager to strike up a conversation. Like, you know, you must have been a nice guy. So it's not all bad. The pay's terrible, but the work is really easy. It's kind of mindless. You just stand there and do nothing unless people need help. Like, it could be complete chaos and busyness and self checkout, but if nobody needs your help, you pretty much just stand there and do absolutely nothing. It isn't the worst. It's not the worst job ever. I don't hate it. It's not the best job ever, and I don't really want to work here for the rest of my life, you know what I'm saying? It's sort of a little middle ground between the two. Anyways, I think I'm getting ready to close it out here. It's been going on for quite a while. I finished my dinner, finished my Sobe. Shame they're on closeout. They're actually pretty good. Gonna miss them. Hope y'all enjoyed my video. Thank y'all for watching. And I'll definitely see everybody in the next one, since I know y'all love my vids and y'all love me. Thanks for being the best ever. Peace.